Hey, I'm back for another installment. I'm trying to put my hair back because my hair was getting a bit crazy. I don't know about you, but if it gets to a point where I can't manage it anymore, I have to tie it back. So I know it's time for a haircut. I'm way overdue for a haircut, but hey, like everybody else, I haven't been able to get my hair cut for quite a while, so I have an appointment next week and then I'll go back to looking normal again. I hope you are well. Hi Laura. I like to see who's on. We've got a few people here tonight. I've done 2 videos already today to launch the new catalogue. The first one we did the Forever Greenery Suite, and the second one I did the In Good Taste Suite with the Tasteful Touches stamp set and dies and that beautiful paper. So we've had a couple of must-have items already, and tonight we're going to talk about Incolors, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the new Lovely Labels Pick a Punch, which I know a few people are curious about. So hi everyone. Hi Laura, how are you going? Hi Jan. Thank you for saying hi. Hi Katrina, how are you? Now I'm just holding this back. These glasses, I need a new glasses script as well, so I'm sort of squinting a little bit even though I have my glasses on. Oh, you finished the dishes. Yes, I've still got that ahead of me when I'm done with this, unfortunately. It's also bin night, so I've got to crack the whip and get the recycling out and all that kind of stuff. So hey, that's life, right? Okay, so we are going to play with some Incolors. I'm going to be putting the phone up in the holder in just a moment. Hi Deborah. Hi Wendy. Hello. Oh, hi Beck. How are you going? And Leanne. Some people I haven't seen for a while, so that's very exciting. Okay, so who has already seen the new Incolors? Who has a catalogue and already has had a peek at the new colours? And let me know what you think. Every year, I think at the very beginning, I've learned better now, but at the beginning I think, oh gee, I'm not real sure about the new colours. I like a couple, not sure about a couple. Over the years, I have learned that these colours are always very well thought out. They coordinate in a unique way, and they also match into some of our existing colour families really well as well. So somebody actually does their homework. They aren't just random colours that have been picked from nowhere in particular. You will find if Stampin' Up! Brings out a new colour range, at least a couple, if not all the colours in the range, you will start to see them everywhere. So I can think of how that has happened. You know, I went to Domain and all the cushions were in a particular new colour that we had. This is last year or the year before. So they're very good at staying on trend and knowing what is coming in and what is going to be popular. So I have got quite a few card samples to show you of colours and bits and pieces I've already been doing with some of the new colours. So let's put this phone in the holder and get to it. Also going to make a card with you as well. So I'm going to switch the camera around. Here we go. My camera stand broke. When was that? Yesterday. And my husband repaired it for me because he's a good husband. And so I'm hoping it's going to hold together. It's all been super glued and put together. Okay, so here we have our catalogue. If you don't have a catalogue, I send out catalogues to everyone who has ordered in the last year or so, or placed online orders, or has been a regular at classes and stamp clubs. Those people all received catalogues from me. If you didn't get one, and you don't already have a demonstrator, please let me know and I will try and I'll send one out to you in the coming few days. But this is the new one. So this one came out this morning. Something you need to know about this catalogue is mostly our catalogues it's annual, so that you'd guess that they're 12 months long. This one is not. This one is only going to go run through for 11 months because our catalogue schedule is changing a little bit from next year. So from next year, instead of coming out in instead of coming out in June, as this one has done for several years, next year it'll be coming out in May. So a month earlier, which gives us a little bit more time to play with this catalogue before the holiday comes out. The holiday mini comes out. Normally that used to be in September, now it's going to be in August. And our minis, instead of running for 5 months each, will now run for 6. So we're going to have minis and annual catalogues running pretty much all the time. So just a bit of a change. The mini catalogues have also been beefed up. So you're seeing more new product in the mini catalogues. And I don't know if anyone has actually noticed, but the annual catalogue this year is slightly slimmer, which I have to tell you is the best news, because it now goes into an envelope for under 500 grams for me to post. So that's pretty exciting, because in the past, our catalogues were just over. Last year they got all excited and told us it was under 500 grams, and it was, but as soon as you added the envelope and maybe a handmade card, it was over 500 grams. The envelope actually took it over. So this year they brought it back down a little bit again. It's a little slimmer, but it's great because it means we can post them out more reasonably. So that's a really great thing for our businesses. And on top of that, we have still managed to get lots of cool stuff in there. Now I'm just going to pop up here and just see, I'll look to see if there's anybody that I need to say hello to. Hi Carolyn and Michelle. Hello Kay, how you doing? I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Very exciting. Classes are starting to resume. I'm not running any home classes here yet, but I'm continuing with the online classes that I've been doing. It's just easier right now to do that. I can only really have comfortably a couple of people in the studio to follow the social distancing rules, so it makes more sense to keep them going as an online concern at the moment. However, if you are desperate for company and you'd like someone to stamp with, let me know. Come over, I'll make you a cuppa and you can come and stamp with me. I don't mind at all. So if anyone wants to do that, you're always welcome. Just let me know in advance so I can make sure I'm here. Alright, so the new colours. We get a little bit of a preview on the front. There's a little bit of new colour action here on the front, but really you get your first proper look at them on the very first page inside the front cover. So these 5 colours here where the tools are shown, and these are some of our new embossing machines, the Stamparatus, the pick-a-punch that we're going to look at tonight, and the trimmer, but the backgrounds you'll notice are the new Incolors, so that's pretty exciting. Also these cards over here are in those 5 colours, and you can see there's some pattern paper in there, because as always when they bring out a new suite of group of colours, they bring out all the accessories to go with it, so I'm going to go through some of those with you. Now obviously we haven't been able to do to order everything from the catalogue, and even then we still can't get the embossing machines there and die cut machines. They're not available yet, but we hope to have some news on that soon. The other thing that wasn't available today, which was a little bit sad, was the Stampin' Seal. Now this is the replacement for Snail, and there's also a thing called Stampin' Seal Plus. Let me just find them for you. They're up the back, so if you've got your catalogue, feel free to have a little look with me. Hang on. Sometimes it's just better to turn to the index, especially at the beginning where I have no idea where anything is. Okay, page 162. So if you want to turn to that, and you'll see this is the new look. Like previously, our snails were the black snail, these guys, right? So the new ones now are going to be these clear ones, and one is called Stampin' Seal and the other one's Stampin' Seal Plus with a little plus sign, and so this one, the plus, is more like Fast Fuse, so for those of you who remember Fast Fuse, but I've been told it's easier to use than Fast Fuse was, so haven't seen it, haven't played with it yet, but can't wait to get my hands on it and test out that theory. And then the Stampin' Seal apparently is a lot like Snail, but also supposed to be easier to use, so there may be some people who are very happy if that is indeed the case. So that's a bit exciting. Let's go back for a second. The very first suite, after you go past all the kits, the very first suite in this catalogue actually focuses on the Incolors. So this is on page 10, if you want to turn to that one. Now, in the last 2 videos, I've had a little giveaway competition where you can win a prize, and we had someone win some Incolor ribbon, and somebody else won some wooden elements from the In Good Taste set. And tonight, I'm going to give away this Incolor ribbon, which is called, this is a new color called Bumblebee. Very cute. And it's a softer color than Crushed Curry. I'm actually going to go through the colors individually and show you how they compare to some of our existing colors. So this is called Bumblebee, and this is the prize up for grabs tonight. I would like you in your comments below and using your catalog just to tell me which is your favorite in color, and then I want you to find a project in the catalog anywhere that uses that color and just give us the page number. So it's like a little scavenger hunt, if you like. So what you need to do is nominate your favorite color. Now the 5 colors are called, let me grab these. So here are the colors. These are the in color Memories and More cards and envelopes, and I love these because they are fantastic for it's like ready-made cards. All you've got to do is stick your card front little bit on inside the rectangular bit here, and it's ready to go. They're scored, they have matching envelopes, very, very cute. So here are the 5 colors. They are Cinnamon Cider, this one here. This is called Just Jade. This is called Misty Moonlight. This one is Magenta Madness. It's super bright pink. If you're not a pink person, this is going to be very challenging. But if you love pink, you're going to love this color. And then the last color is the one that I'm going to use today, which is the Bumblebee. Now the Bumblebee is also the, here it is, sorry, it's sitting over here by itself because I was planning on using it. So it's like a softer version of Crushed Curry. Very close to Crushed Curry, but softer. Okay, and here are our matching envelopes for those. So those special little cards, I've already been using them quite a bit, and they are actually listed here on this very first page. It says Flowers for Every Season, which is the name of this suite, Memories and More cards and envelopes. That's them, and it says you'll find them on page 154. So if I turn to 154, that has like a closer up, better look at the product. There they are. Okay, so I can see them there. Really, really pretty. They go with lots of things, and I have, like I said, been using them quite a bit. Good fun. So you can see the colors in this suite have been, that are mostly the in colors, and in fact the matching paper pack, which is the Flowers for Every Season 6x6 designer paper, is this pack here, and it's got all those colors in it, and they're all sort of mishmash. The only other color that is in here, and it tells us on page 148 what colors are in the papers, the only other colour that's in here apart from the in colours is Poppy Parade. And so you've got the Misty Moonlight here in white, you've got Just Jade with the Cinnamon Spider, not spider, we don't want spiders, cider, and then you can see all the different colours, and because they've mixed them up with each other, you get a whole different take on how all these colours look together. So it's actually a really great paper pack if you're wanting to dip your toe into the in color water. This is a really great pack to get, and you can see, so there's the Bumblebee, the Cinnamon Cider, the Just Jade for the leaves, and the Misty Moonlight in the background. That's what those 4 colors look like together. So yeah, it's really, I mean, the Bumblebee is just really pretty all by itself there. You can really get a good idea of how these colors look together. Okay, there's also the in color elements. So these are like little adhesive dots that you can add to your projects. They look really cute, and I'm going to show you a couple of projects that I've used these with. I think they're great. And then if you wanted just the 5 colours and nothing else, there's also the in colour pattern packs. So these are like the ones we've had in the past. Last year we had some gingham. So you can see there's dots, there's writing, and on the back there's wood grain, and there's like this, looks like a distress kind of a design. Really, really pretty. And I have used these quite a bit already. So they're great if you just want the 5 colours and nothing else thrown in. So let's see how I've used. So I've used that distressed one there with some black and the Magenta Madness. That is just such a bright colour. It's crazy. There's Magenta Madness again, but on a white, a little bit of black, but mostly white and Magenta Madness. There's the Just Jade. And you can see I threw on, I did a video on this one as well for anyone who hasn't seen that. And I've also thrown some dotty paper from the paper packs down the side there in the matching colour. So there's a few different ways that you could use those dotty papers. I think they're great. And then the other papers, the Flower for Every Season, they also match with a new set called Jar of Flowers. So I've actually put a few of those together. So I've got some of those in colour papers here. I've also, I don't know if you can see it, also used one of the mason jar shaker domes here. And I've actually got plans for one of these. As soon as another set arrives, I can't wait to play with that and show you. So these papers, these are the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. These are very bright. I've used a couple of those little in colour elements there. This one, you may have seen, I did this one the other day, and I've posted some of these photos before, but you'll see that these are those papers that I've just showed you that I think they look beautiful. They're very bright, but if you like bright and you like lots of flowers, then you're going to love that set. Okay, so that's what this is. Of course, you can get inks. Now, let me tell you about my mistake today, because I couldn't order the inks until today, and I was very, very excited to order the inks. And so I sat down and I looked at the Incolor inks there on page 143, and down the bottom, second row here, I've got all the individual numbers for the stamp pads, and I wanted all of them, so I individually went through and ordered all of those ones there. Now they're $13 an ink pad, and there's 5 of them in the pack, so it cost me $65. If only I had been smart and I had looked, I would have noticed that across the page is the classic stamp pad bundles, and you can actually buy all 5 ink pads for $58.50. So I would have saved quite a bit of money, and I would have only had to put in one code to get all 5 pads. So you just need to make sure, if you're ordering this year's colours, that's the 2020 to 2022 in colour bundle, and you'll get all 5 pads with just one number. So don't be silly, don't be like me. You can actually get them much, much easier than individually ordering each one. If you're after last year's colours, and the last year colours, that's the Pretty Peacock and the Seaside Spray, those colours that were around, they're still around for another year, and they're the 2019 to 2021. So there's the only thing is that one is a bit cheaper, because remember, the Purple Posy was a colour that they did not end up releasing, or they did very briefly, and then they took it off the market again because they weren't happy with it. So there's only 4 pads in that collection, not 5. So it's $49.75 for the 4 pads, or if you're after this year's, you can get all 5 pads for $58.50. So there you go. You can also order the assortment of cardstock as well. So that's up here where it's the A4 cardstock assortments, and you can order those. So this is what those look like. This is the A4. I've got the 12 by 12 as well for my scrapbooking, but you can see all the colours when I fan them out. There's our 5 in colours there. Okay, so it's great to have, I think, an assortment if you like all the colours and you're not sure which one you like, because that means you can use all of them, and then you'll very quickly work out which colour is your favourite and which one you use the most of, and then you go back and just buy a single colour pack in that colour. So I find, rather than buying one of each pack, I start with an assortment and then work out which colour is the one I'm going to use the most, or which colours I'm going to use the most. So let's just quickly talk about individual colours really quickly. I'm going to start with this one. This is Magenta Madness. This colour is Melon Mambo. Now this is a colour, when I first looked at this, I thought, oh, it's close to Melon Mambo, and then you put them together and you go, it really isn't. It doesn't, this Melon Mambo doesn't even look pink when you put it next to this, and yet I've always thought of Melon Mambo as quite a pink, but not even close, because this is much pinker. So can you see the difference in that? Can everyone see how different those are? And then this one, this is the Cinnamon Cider. Okay, you can see I've already got a full pack of that one, because I knew I was going to use lots of it. This is just how it compares to Soft Suede. Very, very different. Another colour that would be the next closest is probably Terracotta Tile. And that's not really close either. That's a lot more orange. Okay, so Cinnamon Cider really is a colour all by itself. We don't have anything else like that. So it's great to have a new colour that we really don't have anything to compare to, not even close. And then Misty Moonlight. Now to me, I bought a full pack of that one too, because I knew this was going to be my favourite colour of the 5. I also like the Just Jade. So this to me is a real denim blue. Can you see? It's a real medium blue, and I can think of a lot of things that a good medium, strong medium colour like that is good for. To give you an idea, let me just pull out. This is Night of Navy, so it's quite a lot darker. You can see it's very different, but tonally they work really, really well together. So right now I've been using Night of Navy ink with my Misty Moonlight because they're close and they're very similar tonally, but this is just darker. So it's, to me, it's like, and if you stamp off Night of Navy, it's very close to Misty Moonlight. So I think that's a really good way to judge. By putting a close colour, you get a much better idea of what the colour looks like. And the one that I think is... Oh, I didn't realise I already had pulled out a piece of that. Now, here, these two are the closest to me. And in the light here, I'm not even sure that you can see that they are... Can you see that they're different? From an ink point of view, I have been using Crush Curry at the moment because I haven't been able to use the Bumblebee ink because we don't have it yet. I've been using my Crush Curry ink in place of that. But definitely there is a difference if you look close enough. But these two, in my mind, are the two that are closest to each other. So Bumblebee is softer and Crush Curry is brighter, a bit more yellow. This is definitely a softer yellow, the Bumblebee. I actually really like the Bumblebee. I think it's a really great colour. And the only colour I didn't show you was the Just Jade. So that's this colour here in the Incolor papers. And once again, it's to me quite a soft colour. Okay. The closest we have to this ink-wise is Shaded Spruce. Because it's quite a cool green. So you'll see it's darker. A little bit to me like the Misty Moonlight and the Night of Navy. Shaded Spruce is just a few shades darker, and quite a few shades darker than the Just Jade. Can you see that? But they're both cool greens, so they both have like a blue base, not a yellow base. Whereas this is Old Olive, and look, that has definitely got more of a yellow base. Not even close, these two, but these two much closer. So I've been using my Shaded Spruce stamped off to go with my Just Jade, and actually the Shaded Spruce over the top, if you actually stamp Shaded Spruce ink onto the Just Jade cardstock, they look quite nice. Same with Misty Moonlight. If you stamp Night of Navy onto Misty Moonlight cardstock, that looks quite nice too. So I hope that's given you a little bit of a clearer idea into how some of the colours look. What do you think? And yes, I'm asking tonight, for anyone who's just joined us, I'm asking you to tell me your favourite colour and to find a project in the new catalogue that uses that colour and tell us what page it's on. And I'm going to go through it after the end of the video. I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to put everybody's name into the draw, and we're going to draw one person. So somebody who has entered by giving us the colour name and the page of a project that it's on. Okay. So that's what I'm doing with that. Alright, so I think it might be time for us to make something. I hope everyone has found that interesting. I find colour theory really interesting. And it's just, yeah, it's a fascinating topic to me. Okay, so I have got here one of our Memories and More cards, and I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper the dotty one here because I really quite like that, and I've got that cut at 3 inches by 4 inches. And the reason I'm going with inches at the moment is because these are made to fit the 3 inch by 4 inch Memories and More cards. So you can use your Memories and More cards. In fact, there is a Memories and More card pack that fits, that matches these, but I'm actually pairing it instead tonight with the DSP because I really like that. Alright, so I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm going to actually use the jar of flowers tonight. That's this one here. And I have been using this quite a bit. It's actually a really nice set to use. I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to grab some white cardstock. This is just plain old Whisper White. I've got my jar of flowers punch, or it's just called jar punch actually, not jar of flowers. And I'm going to use, I'm deciding which way to go. I've got here, first of all, some Stays On ink, because I'm actually going to make a jar out of acetate. So I have my acetate, or window sheets we call these, and I'm going to be stamping my jar straight onto the acetate with Stays On ink. You will need Stays On ink to stamp on acetate. In fact, if you use anything other than Stays On, it won't stay, as the name suggests. So, well, here's an interesting thing. I'm actually having problems with, I'm going to have to get a new one. I noticed that my my stamp case is not closing properly, and as a result of it not closing properly, it keeps popping open and my jar keeps falling out, which is what's just happened. And I'm wondering if it might be on the floor. Give me 1 second. Because that's going to be embarrassing doing a jar if I don't have any stamps to work with. That will be very embarrassing. So just give me a second while I clear a space here. When I go to use a stamp set, I do expect that the stamps are going to be in it. I know that's crazy, right? Well, no luck yet, but I haven't given up yet. I'm also going to show you something else that goes in the jars, and I think this is super, super cute. These are the mason jar shaker domes, and these are cute. Okay, they're the same shape and size as our jar, obviously. That way you can actually make a hole just like this, and then so you actually, I'm going to use the jar for the card when I find the jar, but I'm going to actually use the space I created, so the negative space, that's this here, to show you how this jar goes in. So it would just fit in like this. I would take the adhesive off the top and it would stick just like that. Okay, and then I can put things inside, I can do all kinds of things. So like this card that I did earlier today, you can see I stamped my stems and water inside, and I think that's really cute. Okay, I'm going to be very sad if I can't find my jar stamp. I've only had it for what, 2 weeks? It's too soon to lose it yet. In a second I'm going to abandon this because I'm not going to have you guys sitting here watching me look for something, and I will post it later. Ah, found it. Yep, it fell on the floor. I really do need a new stamp case. Okay, so back in business. So I've got this great little jar. Now, there are two sides to these stamps, okay? This side has the raised design, which is the side you'd expect to be stamping with. But if you have a look at the cover, you notice that there is this one that I'm about to stamp with, but there's also this grey one, which is the back of the stamp. So these are reversible, and this one, and then the back of that stamp. Now those two, I've been using both the front and the back. Now I do need my Stays On to go onto the sure I get it inked up really, really well. Well, that was almost a crisis then, but crisis averted, guys. We're back in business. Has that ever happened to anybody else? Alright, so I'm stamping my jar on my acetate piece, on my window sheet. And as you can see, it stamps really nicely. Okay, and then you can actually punch that out. I'm just going to make sure I've got this lined up inside my piece, and then punch. Now I'm just going to set that to one side for a second because I want to make sure that stays on, has time to dry. Doesn't take very long, 30 seconds, a minute, and it'll be dry. But in the meantime, I've got my white jar that I just punched out of the white paper. Right, and this one I'm going to have a little bit of fun with. I'm going to use this little half-size tumbler kind of thing, but instead of putting it with the design size up, I'm going to put it with the design side to my block, because I actually want the back of the stamp for this one. And I'm deciding what colour will I go. I'm thinking. I think I will go, look, you can use any light blue. I'm going to go with Pool Party this time, but any light blue would do the trick because we're going to stamp it off anyway. I even used on this one, where is it? On this one, that's actually navy. You can, to me, it's a little bit dark, but I did see, you know, if you stamp it off a few times, it can become quite light. So let me just get my head in here so I can make sure I'm stamping in the right place. I'm stamping this. It's going to be water. I should have stamped it off. I just said that. Goodness me. See, it's dark. So let's do the other side, shall we? I'm going to stamp once. And then I'm going to stamp again because I don't want it too dark. That's better. Looks more like water in my mind. Much better than that. That's too dark. That's a good strength. Alright. Now, also in here, because I'm going to be putting some flowers on top, there's another stamp in here that just has the stems. I always feel this stamp set makes me feel clever. I actually like the stamp set because it feels like you're really creating something. I really like that feel. Now, I haven't decided, because I'm not actually working with, if I was working with Just Jade in my leaves, I would actually probably make sure I coordinated my stems with my leaves, but because I'm not using that colour, you just pick whatever green you think is going to be the most useful. I like Mossy Meadow a lot because it goes with so many different greens. It's a very neutral green. Right, so that's how those look. Right, then we've got our acetate piece that we stamped on before. Now by now this has had enough time to dry properly, so I'm actually going to attach this with glue dots to my base. So I'm going to put one, I'm going to hide one glue dot here behind this little bit of shading, and the other one I'm going to put up at the top because we're not going to see that anyway. And then I'm going to line this up straight over the top. And you can't see this glue dot here, it's quite well hidden, and this one isn't going to show either because we're going to cover that up. Okay, so let's pull in our bits and pieces. I'm just going to use any light adhesive you like to put your 3x4 piece of DSP on. I'm sorry if anyone's commenting. I'm not watching while I'm creating. Okay, I'm just sticking that straight down. And I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals behind my jar. 1 and 2. And this is going to go just up above the bottom, not even a centimetre, about maybe half a centimetre, maybe a little more up from the bottom. Now, I did actually go ahead and do one of these earlier, so I could just pop that straight on with dimensionals, but you can really choose any of these you like, and I have actually worked with other flowers from other sets as well, even a daisy from with the daisy punch, that looks really lovely as well. We've got sunflowers that you can use, we've got these roses and anemones, we've got these kind of chrysanthemums and something, I'm not sure, and then tulips. Okay, so a few different ones. I've actually got this one that I've already coloured in just to make the most of the time that we have. I'm going to whack a couple of dimensionals on the back of that as well. This one I watercoloured, but you could use blends. I haven't got the blends in the new colours yet, of course, but they're on their way. I ordered them this morning, so that was a bit exciting. And I sort of got that going just a little bit over the top of the jar there. Now, just to finish this off, because it looks really pretty, we've got a couple of options. As you can see, we've got a number of really nice Incolor ribbons. These are just like really easy, normal cotton ribbons that are very easy to tie and use. And that's all the colours once again. Now, this one and this one. This one, Magenta, is the one that was won by Emma in the first video this morning. And this one, I don't know who's going to win it yet, because I'm going to know that after I see who has nominated their favourite Incolors in the chat. We also have a couple of other options in Incolors. This is the Just Jade gingham ribbon, which is in one of our ribbon combo packs. And this is the Bumblebee gingham ribbon. Now, I'm thinking this might be really pretty on here. So I'm just going to tie a little knot, well, not a knot, a bow. Just tie that. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to attach that to the neck of the bottle, which is another reason why we cover up our glue dot that we put at the top there. Not that you could really see it there, but that's really pretty. And then I'm going to trim that off with my ribbon scissors. Don't you love how everything coordinates so nicely? Alright, so this, you can see this is coming together. Now, this is a good time for me to talk about our new punch that I mentioned earlier. So, we have a new punch called the Lovely Labels Picker Punch, and it does 6 different shapes. Well, there's this shaped end and this shaped end, and you can have them 3 different widths each. So the widths that have been measured here are 1/2 inch, which goes in this one, 3/4 inch, which goes in the center channel, and a full inch, which goes in the wide channel. Okay, and you can decide whether you want the flatter end or whether you want the curved end. So it depends on what sentiment you're going to be using. Now, this is actually available by itself, or you can get it with this stamp set called Lovely You, and this is a bundle. Okay, so this is a Stampin' punch bundle. The punch by itself is $40. Let me look this price up for you, just in case anyone is interested in this. Sorry, I bumped the phone. Sorry about that. So we have some beautiful bundles. I'm really liking all of them. So this is the Lovely You one. So it's $73.75 for the $40 punch and the stamp set with all the sentiments and leaves and flowers. It's a really good sentiment set. I always love any set that's got the words "just because" in it, because I just think that there's so many occasions you can send that. I think it's fabulous. And even just a smile is lovely. So I'm going to go with a smaller sentiment on this card because I don't want to overwhelm this card too much. And I think that will probably look better. And I think I might go with the rounder end. So I'm going to put this in. Now, here's a couple of tips for using this punch. First of all, when you cut your 1/2 inch strip, I go like the tiniest sliver less than the 1/2 inch because this is exactly 1/2 inch. And if you make this slightly less, and when I say slightly less, like it's not even a measurement, not even a millimeter less, it will fit into the channel better than if you make it exactly. Okay, so if you just take a tiny smidgen off it, it actually works out better. And then you need to make sure, if you watch my last video where I used these, I forgot which one I was using, and I have one end the round end and one end the flat end. So that's not what you want to do. You want to pick one and stick with it. So what you want to do is you want to push it in until it stops. You'll feel it stop. And then this is really important. Hold it in place and turn this over. Okay, I didn't push it in far enough. So actually it's a good thing I did turn it over. Make sure it's gone in. Yes, it has. Okay, you can see it down here. Can everyone see this? Let me bring it up closer. Okay, can you see it here? All right, I want to make sure it's right in the middle so that that little round bit is right in the middle, so I can see that it's starting here and here, and that's actually fine. And therefore, I'm going to get a really nice end. Okay, if you just push it in without checking, it's really easy for it to be too far one way or too far the other way, and then you don't get a nice even end. Okay, so you always want to check it. Now I've got one end stamped, sorry, one end punched. Then I want to do my stamping. And I'm deciding, I want a small one, so I'm either going to go with Always or Smile, because on this very small 1/2 inch strip, they're going to fit the best. So I think I will go with Smile because it's an easy one to send. I'm just going to pop it here on a block. And because I've used black on here, I'm going to use black for this as well. And I'm going to give it a little bit of space. So I'm not going to go too close to this end, because if I go too close to the end, then I feel like I have the other end the same, and if you cut it too short, it's hard to work with in the punch, so you don't want it to be too short. So I'm actually going to give it a bit of space, and if I don't get it right, oh no, I did, it's good. The good thing about paper, of course, is it has two sides, and I can always turn it over and do the other side, but after that I'm out of choice, out of chances. Alright, so you can see I've got about 1.5 centimeters here, so I'm going to need about the same at the other end. But you might notice that when I put this in, this is the bit that it cut off. Can you see that? So it's about another 3 or so millimeters, maybe even 4. No, I think about 3 or 4 millimeters extra that I need to add to the end of this. So if I think that I need it to be about that long, I'm going to add a few more millimeters. So it's actually a little bit longer at this end now, and I'm going to pop it back into the channel, push it as far as it will go. Because I did cut this a little bit too wide, so it doesn't always slide in straight away. I've got to be careful. So now I can see it's in there properly. Make sure, and if it's not in the right place, okay, just say I wasn't paying attention and it's over on one side, all you've got to do is just sort of push it with your finger and make sure it's centered, okay, and then chop it. And after I've done this a few times now, I've gotten used to how that works, alright. If I thought it was too long here, I could put it back in and watch it and take a smidge more off if I wanted to, but I'm actually quite happy with that. So just as an example, we've got our 1/4 inch one. I'll do that in the other channel. Make sure it's centered. And then I've got my inch. And that one goes in. Make sure it's centered. Yep. And you can see how you get these really nice ends, and you can even them up, and after a little while you get quite good at it, and it's not hard to use at all. But when you first do it, you need to remember to always check the placement before you punch. So they're my tips. Cut a little bit narrower and always check your placement, and then you should be good with this one. But it's great for doing little banners and things like that. Alright, so where shall I put this? Will I put it across? I could put it, you could also just stamp straight on here too, but I wanted to show you how to use the punch, so that's why we're doing that. I'm just seeing, I've got a little bit of crushed curry ink, and I'm just going to zip around this just to finish that edge. So we've made some nice cards today together. I'm going to do one more video tomorrow at 10 AM if anyone's around for that one. If you're not here, it doesn't matter. You can always watch the replay. I'm going to use a couple of mini dimensionals, and I'm going to pop them on each end of this. Take the backs off, and I'm just going to have this go straight across here. So it's in the middle, just like that. And I just think maybe this would look nice. Shall we go with the bumblebee? Which one? Because the other colours are not that close, I am going to go the bumblebee, because at least it's going to match the ribbon and the pieces here. I'm going to call that a finished card. I actually think this particular group of flowers is possibly my least favourite. I like these ones because they're rounder, and I like these ones because they're more across. So if you look at the cards that I did earlier, see this one is wider, much wider across, and I like the roundness of the sunflowers. I think those are cool. I tried to use colours that would match up here. These are blends, so the Poppy Parade works because that's the right red for that. This for Cocoa Rose isn't quite the right colour for the magenta, but it's as close as I could get currently. But I can't wait until my actual colours show up so that I can use them and play around with them. And then I'll be able to do lots more with them. So, what do people think? Is there a consensus which colour people like the best? What do we think? So the other thing I haven't mentioned in this video, and it's really important, I do have to tell you because it's a fantastic deal, and that is we currently have a stamp and punch or stamp and die bundle promotion where you can get a when you buy the demonstrator kit, you'll get a free bundle along with your kit. So the kit costs $169, but you get to pick $235 of whatever you want, and you'll get a free bundle on top of that, plus the opportunity to get 20% off minimum all your purchases in the future. So talk to me about that if you are interested. It's a pretty good deal. Okay, I'm going to finish up. I'm thinking a glass of wine, and my lounge chair might be calling me. Plus, I'm going to attempt to get our fire going tonight. My husband's on night shift. So I think that would be nice to find a nice cozy spot in front of the fire. What do you think with a glass of wine? Does that sound good? I think it does. So let me pull this off here and turn this camera around. And then I can say goodbye. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've had a lot of fun today creating a whole bunch of different new cards, some of which I kind of made up on the spot. I'm glad we found our jar stamp. It was on the floor. I do have to get that stamp case fixed because they keep falling out, and that's a problem, especially in a situation like this. Okay, anyone have any questions? Did I miss any questions while I wasn't? I'm just going to scroll back through and see if there was any questions that I missed. You live in a beautiful part of the world, Christine. I've been to Nova Scotia. Did I tell you that? So, what do people think about their catalogue? I agree, Laura. It is a nice brown colour. It reminds me a little bit, we used to have a colour called Baked Brown Sugar. Does anyone remember that colour? Cinnamon Cider to me is a little bit like that. So that was a colour that I quite enjoyed working with, and I think I'm going to enjoy it again. Going back through. So nice to see everybody. It's lovely to see you all here, and it's been a lot of fun spending some time with you tonight. So I better go supervise these kids and get all the bins out for bin night. And I hope everyone is staying warm and cozy wherever they are. If you're not in Australia, you're probably more warm than you want to be. But here in Australia, it's cold right now, or cold for us. Other people don't think it's cold, but we do. All right, I'll announce the winner of our little competition very soon. And for some of you, hopefully I'll see you back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll do the final installment. Don't forget, if you're placing an order and it's $100 or more, if you're placing the order through the online store and it's $100 or more, you can pick from my retiring stamps, which I put a photo of those up here on my Facebook page. It's at the top of the Facebook page because I pinned it to the top so that everyone will see it. So all you have to do is email me and let me know, or message me and let me know which stamp set you would like. And it's all yours. Okay, have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.